Has anyone heard of the Garfield show? It's a show about Jim Davis's comic book character of the same name, going on adventures with his owner John Arbuckle and Odie, a dog who is also another pet of John. I was a huge fan of the series, but sadly it was cancelled in 2016. The date was August 4th of 2017. I was in my house minding my own business when I was bored, so I watched some TV. I turned it on and the channel was Cartoon Network. I watched a few episodes of Adventure Time and Regular Show, and I noticed a little bumper shown below the episode of Regular Show. It read, "Garfield Show, new episodes, don't miss." I thought to myself, huh? I thought it was cancelled a year ago. Anyways, I like to see a new episode of my favorite show. After Regular Show ended, the theme song immediately played with the nostalgia rush was so intense. The episode was Double Vision, one of my favorite episodes. I noticed there was a little bracket with a sentence below the title that read, "Alternate Cut." Anyways, the episode starts as usual with Garfield stumbling upon Professor Bonker's fusion vision glasses. The episode was still normal for a while, but when it got to the scene where Mr. Barker, John's boss, left due to Garfield and Odie throwing him into the trash can, the episode immediately turned to a dark turn. John turned his neck at least 180 degrees, and he was pissed. Then it cuts to him sitting on a chair, with most of his angriest look I've ever saw. The two pets were dancing in front of him. John said his usual line, "You could stop dancing now. I am forever not forgiving both of you for life." Garfield and Odie just looked at him, and then they went upstairs. Garfield said, "Boy, John is really angry at us for making him lose his job right now. Right, Odie?" Odie then barks in agreement. A time card appeared saying 1 month later. Garfield and Odie do appear on screen, and they were really skinny due to days without being fed. "Do you think John has stopped being angry?" Odie barks in and cuts to John. He was still sitting at the chair looking really angry. I could see John very angry, and he had at least 5 o'clock shadow, and his eyes were extremely bloodshot. I was super scared. Garfield and Odie then looked at John. He was still angry on his chair, and Garfield waved his arms to John. But then it cuts to John's point of view, and I saw Garfield waving his hand at me. John stood up from the chair and went to the kitchen. I thought he was going to give Garfield and Odie some food, but what he came back with really freaked me out. He came back with a knife. Garfield and Odie were shocked to see that he was still angry with his frown, and his frown slowly turned into a crooked smile and then said, "Time for the both of you to die." The scream was so loud that I had to cover my ears. It almost gave me a heart attack, and it happened so suddenly. John started chasing Garfield and Odie around the house in a kinetic manner, and then the regular music played. Garfield and Odie then ran towards the house until they were trapped. Garfield said that it was not the best place to hide in the bathroom. He then ran to the bedroom. Odie was trying to run, but John cornered him, and he still had the crooked smile before he chased both of them into his eyes were still bloodshot. His hair was also mangled, and then he grabbed the baseball bat that was in the bathtub for some reason. Odie was cowering in fear, and as John started laughing, his laughing was like the Joker, only deepened and demonic. Then he hits Odie with the baseball bat, and the screen turns black for at least 42 seconds. As I heard a dog shrieking in pain and the sounds of John laughing like crazy. What came back on stream really creeped me out. It was John. He was gutting Odie, but of course from the heavy, mutilated corpse of the dog, he started to leave Odie's organs down, and him. Of course it was censored. We couldn't really see it. While he just froze some of the organs out of the bathroom window, his mouth was covered in blood, and his teeth were drenched in blood. He then wiped his mouth out with his sleeve, as there was a lot of blood. I had no idea why he had blood. I'm assuming maybe Odie tried to fight back, but failed. Of course, the blood drenched on his sleeve. "I wonder where Garfield is," John said in a voice that sounded nothing like the original voice actor. Garfield was hiding under the bed to make sure John doesn't see him. Garfield then hears wood banging, and then I saw what was the sudden source of the noise. It was John smashing the door with blood-stained knife. He peeked through and said, "Here's Johnny." John then broke through the door with his foot, and it broke. Garfield was hiding as he hears footsteps. "Garfield, where are you? Come to play. I have lasagna in the fridge." In the same voice, this line line gave me chills down my spine. Garfield was still hiding until John grabbed Garfield's tail and dragged him under the bed. John then dropped Garfield on the floor with a loud thud, and as he grabbed Garfield, I could hear Garfield coughing. "John, what are you doing to me?" Garfield said in a raspy voice. "You naughty cat. I've spent years trying to do this. Now it is time to do something that I should have done a long time ago," John said in a psychotic voice. He then pinned Garfield to the floor and started laughing the same laugh. The screen then cut to black one last time, and what I saw before the episode ended were screams of Garfield and the laugh of a crazed John. There were no credits. I was pretty freaked out about these episodes ending. I mean, why did John have to do that to his two pets? I had lots of nightmares where John would come to my house and harvest one like me. This was supposed to be a series finale? I stopped watching Garfield after that, and now I know how the show ended. Some nights I just kept staying up, watching episodes from different shows, where I play Smash Bros on my Wii U. I was able to send at least an email to Paws Inc., the company I made Garfield 2 weeks later. I got a reply from Jim Davis, and this is what he read. "Dear Mr. Thank you so much for posting this story about the unaired episode of Garfield Show. Back in 2009, we got a package with the tape inside sent by someone by the name of Alyssa Gordon. She then said she was a huge fan of Garfield Show, and she wanted us to post our fan fiction episode on air. But when our editors viewed the episode, they were shocked and they were sent to therapy the next day. Due to the episode's horrific nature, we had no plans to air it. If you read this, don't release the episode to the public. Warm regards, Jim Davis." Due to Jim's words, I was unable to give any screenshot of the footage. Please, I'm begging you, if you find this episode on your TV, do not watch it, as it scared me for life. I don't want this to happen to any of you too. And that, my little pretties, was the Garfield Show Lost episode Double Vision alternate cut. The Garfield Show Lost episode creepypasta. Written by Affan Jamsari. Affan Jamsari, I want to thank you so much for writing this story. Thank you so much for sending it to me. This was awesome. So, my final thoughts of the story. I did not really care for this episode. I'm just being completely and utterly honest. I wasn't really, a fan of this story, and there's a big reason for that. So, I am going to go with this, the positives, because there are some positives I can definitely say, and there are some negatives. Before I go on with the negatives of why I actually didn't like this episode, I am going to go with, the positives. Now, for one thing, I'm just going to say right here, right now, was the grammar was decent. It's not perfect because there were a couple of there's a couple of grammatical errors in the story, like there were a few lowercase i's, some of the characters' names were not capitalized when they should be, and there were a few punctuation errors in the story that I kind of stuttered some parts because, they either didn't have the right punctuation or there just weren't needed to be there or something like that. So the story was a little bit hard to read. So that's obviously why I could say the grammar was decent. It's not perfect. Does need some polishing up, but other than that, the story actually was pretty well made with the grammar and all that. I'm not gonna lie. The grammar was decent. The sentence structuring did pretty good as well, although the paragraph structuring, there were some paragraphs that were a little too big, and it was kind of confusing to read. So that was actually, my opinions on that. I'm not even sure if this was supposed to be a troll pasta or not, but yeah, this is just my opinion. Now, troll pasta wise, it was pretty interesting and funny for a troll pasta, but I'm just reviewing this because it's more of a creepypasta in my opinion. Now, of course, the episode looked pretty normal until, John all of a sudden gets so angry and ends up murdering Odie and Garfield. Like, why was there a reason for, John to sit there and, go all ballistic and end up killing, Garfield? Like, there's no explanation why John ended up doing the things that he did. Like, there's no reason. Well, except for the fact that he got fired from work. I know that could be frustrating if you get fired from work. Like, that would be frustrating. But, maybe he could, be, in depressed or something. I don't know. But, like, sitting there and having John sit there and, murdering Garfield and Odie, that's just kind of cliched. That's cliched in my opinion. Like, it's very cliched. Like, so many pastas have sat there and used this. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen lots of other creepypastas have sat there and narrated have done those. And why am I narrating these crappy pastas? Well, I'm doing this because you guys like to see me review these, and, I'm trying to do this so I can help people get better with their writing. So, yeah, there's that. Okay. Another issue I can definitely say was the bloodshot eyes and the gore. Like, look, I don't mind gore in creepypasta, provided it's done well. In this matter, though, it's just unnecessary. That's just how I'm putting it. It's just really unnecessary. It's just unnecessary to put blood in it if there's, like, no absolute reason. Like, why Garfield, being killed and Odie being killed by John? Like, there's barely any explanation of why John caused him to snap like this, because lots of other creepypastas have sat there and used this, and now it's becoming a cliche in my book. But if it's, like, supposed to be a troll pasta, I'm definitely gonna say, if this was supposed to be a troll pasta, then I would, fix some of this to make it look as if it's trying to be a troll pasta. If it's supposed to be a regular creepypasta, it just needs to be rewrote. Like, rewrite the entire story if it was supposed to be a regular creepypasta. But, the fact that this episode came on TV, okay, that seems to be alright. I'm gonna give that a cliche a pass. And, the letter, this letter pretty much is like a copy and paste off of Blue's Clues Sorrow. Even though that story may not be the greatest one, but copying and pasting, the letter from, like, Blue's Clues Sorrow, it's kind of rips off the entire the ending of it. Like, that's basically, what I'm trying to get at. I really didn't like the fact that, the letter part was copy and paste. That actually, if you plagiarize in a story, that doesn't make your story scary. That just doesn't make your story scary. That's just shows people that you're lazy. I'm not trying to insult the author here. I'm just pointing out the issues of, what's the problem with the story. You should never plagiarize a story, unless if you're doing a rewrite, then maybe that would be understandable if you're doing a rewrite, but other than that, don't even plagiarize a story. And, I kind of was like, really? When I saw, the letter part taken from, like, the Blue's Clues Sorrow. Like, I just didn't really care for that too much because of that part, Here's what I would do. If I wanted to make, like, an ending where, well, basically, you get a letter. Maybe, well, I know it's an email or something, but, like, maybe they should be, at least a better, letter than sit there and copy and paste it from Blue's Clues Sorrow. Like, I don't understand why why that seems to be the case. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound, rude. I'm not trying to sound harsh. I know I kind of am sounding harsh by the sounds of it, but I'm only doing this to help people get better with their writing. Instead of ranting, I'm explaining what's the issues of the story, so then the author can improve him or herself, for that matter. I have done, this stuff back when I started writing, but I got a lot better, so there's that. Now, another issue, and I have to say this is another issue, was the ending where it says right here and said, unfortunately, I was unable to get any screenshot of footage. Like, maybe instead of putting that, maybe the person could maybe hear on the news or something, or maybe see, other people maybe took screenshots of the episode. At least then, that way it would be more understandable and believable if you sat there and said someone took a footage or something of that. At least that way it would be a lot more understandable. The understanding would be clear, and it would be more, well, believable in the sort of way. Now, the last part of it saying this, please, I'm begging you, if you find this episode on TV, don't watch this. Like, why do people sit there and do that when it comes to creepypastas? Like, sit there and say, don't buy this because of this. Like, I'm getting really tired of seeing that in creepypastas. I'm getting really tired of seeing that. It's kind of the reason why I rarely read stories on Goshia. The only stories I'll narrate there are, like, stories that you guys wrote for me there. They're, like, Matthew Bumford, for example. And, you know, I could definitely say this story came from the Goshia Wiki. I'm not even joking. But I am going to sit here and say, I'm not trying to sound harsh to the author. I'm only doing this to provide criticism, just so the author can get better with the story. So anyways, the grammar was decent, I can definitely say that. The sentence structure was also decent, although there were a couple of run-on sentences in the story. But I could definitely say, you know, the grammar, the sentence structuring, and the paragraph structuring is decent. But everything else, the episode was just cliched and not that great. I'm being completely honest. And now if this was supposed to be a troll pasta, then I would give it a higher rating if it's a troll pasta. But anyways, with that being said, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10. I'm only giving this a 4 is because the grammar was decent, along with the sentence structuring, the paragraph structuring, and the sentence structuring. I think I might have said it twice, but I don't really care. I could definitely say all those were decent, but the rest of the episode, it needs to be revised, remove the cliches, and yeah. I don't even know if that was supposed to be a troll pasta or not, but maybe if Affan Jamsari can let me know in the comments below, then yeah. But anyways, with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to bring notification bell to when I upload so you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm